What is going on, crypto enthusiasts? Good morning, Liquidity Citadel. Happy Friday to all of you guys. I'm hoping you guys are enjoying your week and the start to your day. I'm your boy, Crypto Saint. We're going to be diving into some live sessions today, looking at Ethereum. Nice drop. If you guys caught it earlier inside of the week, as far as the peak of 1942, and you're riding it on the way down thus so far, I salute you. You're obviously sitting in some decent profits as of right now. If you've missed that opportunity, there are going to be some levels that are going to be pointed out here inside of this stream. As a matter of fact, we actually already put up some of these levels inside of our site, the liquiditycitadel.trade. You can find a nice clip. It's about a 3-minute clip explaining all the levels that I'm looking at for hedge longs and add backs for shorts. If you did miss that, we're going to go over that here shortly. We're also going to be covering USDT, what's going on with USDT. That's going to be one of the main factors in my analysis for myself. Coupled with that, we're also going to be looking at some additional coins that we're picking up on the scanner as well too. Everything that I'm going to be outlining for you guys today, you can find on the site. Site is 100% free for you, and if you want a little bit more information on some of these setups or details on the additional scanner coins, always feel free to pop into the server. The server as well is free. All the links are inside of the description that you'll see inside of this video. Let's dive right into the charts. Let's take a look at what we got going on. Well, first things first, let me get the pleasantries out of the way. Good morning, good morning, good morning. What's going on, Sniper? Salute you, brother. As I said inside the server, man, you are definitely evolving. So I love to see it. I love to see the growth that's coming behind it, man. So keep at it, brother. Keep at it. It says to pay. No, YouTube is free. So there's nothing to pay here. So you're good. Good morning, Kimberly. Hope all is well. Hope your endeavors are working out for you. I know you've been busy. So salute to you as well, too. All right, that's good. So let's go into kind of what we're looking at here. Let's start with a 4-hour. So let me kind of back up here for a second, just kind of give the evolvement as to how we got to where we are at now, what we're kind of looking at this current juncture. Off the bat, right now on a 4-hour, we have an impulse candle that's printing. That's why you kind of see like this bright green over here, right? Where it's showing bright green on price action, or at least if you're looking at the candle specifically, it's a bright green. I know there's other greens that are out there, but this is more of a brighter green. It's just an indicator that I've written for myself for TD9 sequentials and to outline where I see impulse candles coupled with exhaustion. So when I have a move down to the downside, I can see that that is a impulse, and we could be running into exhaustion. Exhaustion doesn't mean, okay, well, we've bottomed out here and now we're going to all-time highs and, you know, newer highs, things of that nature. That's not really what it's indicating. It's just saying that this current trend that we've been seeing on the 4-hour, which has been 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 candles to the downside. Yeah, it's getting a little tired. So you might see a little bit of a bounce here, either going into later parts of today, if not maybe through the weekend. Weekends have always been a little bit funky this year in 2026 compared to other years. So you might see a little bit of an impulse to the upside. But that being said, you can see where I have the blue fibs that are set up right over here. You know, when we had this move that developed, the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, that's kind of where we derive from. This entire move that I'm looking at right now, I'm looking at this as being a wave A, this entire move down. I do have some sub waves that are inside of here showing me an ABC, so I could be getting into my C level on lower time frames. That's something that I need to map out on my side on lower time frames. I haven't done those due diligence yet. I'm just looking at here from a 4-hour to 1 hour and a daily, just based on an intraday right as of right now. So the way that I'm treating that is I'm treating this move down, you know, 12 candles to the downside. I'm like, okay, that's pretty strong. That's pretty significant. Where is it that we're going to be finding some bounce areas so we can get a small little relief and then have continuation down to the downside? Overall bias for me is I believe that we do have some deeper retests inside the month of July. I am targeting sub 1700s as far as being bullish for bullish retests. Or you can get into the 1630s, 1608s inside of that area. Is there room to go down a little bit lower? Yes, there is. But if July is going to be the confirmation month for June, that 1503 was our bottom. We need to really maintain those areas. I will be walking you through, weeklies, 2 weeks, and monthly as well too, because I have some analysis that are based on those and kind of what we're looking at and what invalidation for my thesis, what those levels look like, saying, okay, well, maybe July isn't the confirmation for the bottom in the sense like we hold those levels. Maybe we actually sweep 1503. How and why and what destination would we be going to? I'll be outlining that for you. But 4 hour intraday, I'm looking at this as a wave 1. You could also view it as a wave A, right? It's going to be the same difference at the end of the day, because essentially we'll get our 1 and then 2, which could constitute as a B. If we hold inside of these areas, we'll be in traditional 2 levels, and then we'll get a deep pull to the downside, which would ultimately turn into a zigzag for a wave C, which would turn into a wave 3 from a bearish count perspective. But we're not there yet, so I don't want to put the cart before the horse here in that regard. As of right now, I'm still holding my short. I'm looking for signs of weakness. As of right now, I want to see what occurs here inside of these levels: 1806, 1791, 1773, inside of those areas. We did have some type of intent that derived right inside this area, and you can see that's right around the 1773 area. So if bulls decide to hold that area for intent, then I could see that we're going to have a small little push up to the upside. So maybe we come down to here and then we get a push up to here. If that is the case, then I'm going to adjust some of these fib levels. You're going to notice that those fib levels are going to be adjusted because right now we're in what I would call a price discovery for a wave 1 or a wave A, however you want to translate that. Ultimate, as far as destinations that I'm kind of reviewing right now, is I'm looking at, as I mentioned, the 1630 sub 1700s. That's kind of where I want to see where the final move is going to occur for us. I don't necessarily have to come all the way up to these levels that you see marked up here where the red fibs are at. We can come down to right around 1882 inside of this area. Oh, if I can actually grab my marking tool, there we go, right inside this area, and then have our continuation down to the downside. So these are going to be some levels that I'm observing, right? Seeing if I can get some distribution inside of this area, inside this zone, and then head on down. Let's go over to a 1 hour real quick. Let's see what that looks like. Kind of same thing. These trend lines that you see here, they're just mock-ups. I'm working it as a contracting triangle, right? You could also view it as a wedge. So that's kind of the way that I'm viewing that. My thesis would be is like, okay, well, we've tested this a couple times, but we've really only created it here and then tested it here. We could still get back inside of this area into the apex area, and then we'll see our breakdown down to the downside. So I give light weight to those. I don't put too much weight on the trend line saying I'm going to long the trend line. I'm really looking for the structure and the formation of that to see if that's going to maintain itself. I had some potential hedge longs that were anywhere from like 1847 down to 1824. That's what was posted inside of this setup yesterday. But if you also were watching that 3-minute clip, I've set my alarms for those. And then I'm looking for the signs of weakness. 1847 gave us slight views of signs of weakness, if you will, but it was really just going to be a scalp at the end of the day. I didn't touch that. When the move happened, I just didn't touch that. 1806.79 is another level that I'm reviewing right now. Let's see what's going on. See if we can actually hold this level. If we can start holding this level, then yeah, maybe there's going to be some hedge longs that are going to be opening up inside of this area. You can notice, you see how my alarms are going off right now because this is where I have the alarm set right now. 1806.79. It's a funky fib, 0.707. You have 0.33, 0.666, 0.707, 0.702. These are some unique Fib levels, they're not your traditional fib levels. I utilize these fib levels because typically I can see wicks go to those areas. So if you want to start using them and adopting them inside of your analysis, then more power to you. But that's what I'm using. They're not traditional. It's just from my experience as far as trading crypto, noticing where wicks can go to. And so the C is still getting deeper. And this is getting deeper. Wave 1 is always going to be difficult to kind of peg where it's going to go at the end of the day. Wave A or wave 1, however you want to put those together. Cash markets just opened up 8 minutes ago. Let's take a look at USDT real quick. All right, so USDT still has this 9 failure that I'm really viewing and seeing. I want it to be cleared. Right, that would be in a perfect world, but from a textbook technicality perspective, this was our 9 right over here, and right inside this level, this 2 that you see, that's what swept that. So what changes this narrative, at least this setup phase for us? Let's go 4 back, 1, 2, 3, and 4. So we're going to be testing this area. We can see that we're pretty much already there now. So if this area gets flipped, then this setup phase will change into a bearish setup phase, which ultimately is going to point towards higher highs for USDT, which at the end of the day, that's going to point towards lower lows for ETH. So it's something that I'm keeping my eye on right now. So we'll go ahead and mark that off for us. That was the wrong tool. Let's try that. Otro vez. There we go. So that's really what we're looking for on USDT. See if we can maintain that. I wouldn't fault you if you said, you know what, I'm gonna take a stink bid here and try to long it here just based on that for USDT. I wouldn't disagree with you. Is it high risk? Yeah, it is, because there's other factors here that are kind of aligning, showing that this move is just beginning. So I'd really be treating that as a potential scalp. I really wouldn't be looking at that as a long-term swing. But I'm curious, where are you guys at in the market? What's your bias right now? Are you guys long? Are you guys short? Are you bearish? Are you bullish? Are you hedging? Let me know inside of the chat section. I definitely want to know where you guys are at. And if you have any thoughts, things that you want to add to this, by all means, you guys know that I will be checking the chat section frequently, answer any questions, and pick up from there. What's up, Solar? Good morning, brother. Good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning. Kimberly says that her daily bias on BTC is bearish. I don't disagree with that. Don't disagree. I don't disagree. Let's take a look at BTC here. I had that on daily, right? Let's look at 4-hour. Yeah, you got a couple nice targets here. I think that's going to get swept, though. I think this is going to get gobbled up. Let me double check some fib levels, make sure that I'm aligned. I need to make a slight little adjustment. Yeah, let's go right here. Those are the 2 levels that I'd be most interested in, to be honest with you. Well, my 5 didn't go that high. And my 1 didn't go that high. That's okay. I can make adjustments there. Alright, so there's my 5. This is probably my A going on right now. Yeah, I could see that. It's my A. And then maybe a B somewhere in here. Really, this is the intent area. All of this, where this red line is at. That's the intent. So get an A, maybe get a B, maybe something right above it, and then we can get our C down to here. Which all this would add into what you see here. There's a 1, 2, and then you'll get your 3. This is, of course, if BTC is going to go for a, a bullish retest, very similar to what we've been discussing on ETH. All this area over here, this entire move up, and then you have all of this, there's essentially, quote unquote, an imbalance in the market in that area. So price action needs to come back and revisit that area and fill in those gaps. You can see it time and time over again, over durations. This is just an example. Price moved up, and then once it moved up, it created this void inside this area. So this move down filled in that void. Had the same thing here, filled in it again. Now we have another move up, anticipation of filling it in again over there. That is a very oversimplified way of looking at market structure and where there's going to be imbalances. But if we zoom in on that, and we want to get down to the nitty gritty, and we really want to look at some targets from a mathematical perspective, this is where the fib levels start to come into play for us. So the 0.76 is going to be like, I'd say like your best case scenario. A 0.88, that's normal. If we get really into a dogfight, between bulls and bears, I think the 95 level, which is not your traditional fib, but when you're utilizing LA wave thesis and you're looking at wave twos are typically aggressive, and they can retrace anywhere between 95 all the way up to like 98% of the move up to the upside. So a lot of individuals that were longing, let's say, 58 and just slightly underneath that, they're going to feel that I'm about to be round tripped. So you'll start to see a bunch of panic sells, things of that nature, especially if people didn't take profits on the wave 5. Let's set some alarms for... Man, I got a feeling we're going to be coming down to here, 1783 inside that area. Yeah, because we got some thin liquidity that sits right here for ETH inside that area. I don't believe we have a shaved bottom. I'll double check that and confirm. No, I mean, it's just thin liquidity. So no shaved bottom there. It's just very thin liquidity, but price has a funny way of, again, creating that balance. So we need to have more liquidation events that are down to these levels right over here, which I think lines us up with that 1783. All right. So then it becomes a point of support for us. Let's say that's not what I want to do. Now, say price comes down to these levels, then decides to move back up wherever it decides to stop, and then it comes back down and sweeps it. And it would be a very large one, a very large wave 1, but that's going to be super sharp. That's going to be really sharp. So I'd just be on guard here, right? Yeah, your first level that we're observing right now is 1806.79 inside this area. I really want to see if the intent can hold this area. So the wicks would just be the liquidity. But if I get closures above here in this area, so let's say the next couple candles come down, maybe I get a wick, maybe it wicks that one, but pulls back up, and we still maintain and hold this area. That's a clue that's telling us, okay, well, buyers are trying to defend this area, and this is where their intent is at. This is where their intent is at. So that might lead into an impulse to, somewhere inside these areas right over here. I have 1890 inside this area, and then I also have 1921, 1915 inside of this area. Actually, all of these right here. Let me make it a little bit cleaner for us. I'd be looking at this, and I'd be looking at this. If I lose this area. I'll give a signal to you guys if I trigger a hedge long inside this area. I'm just waiting. I don't want to go on the first candle, right? Because this party on a 1 hour looks like it's just getting started. That's my clue. Yes, it's a 1 hour. It's not my favorite time frame for that. But if I go over to a 4 hour, which is one of my favorite time frames when I'm utilizing DMI, we can see that the DI negative is just about to break that baseline. Let's actually open that up a little bit. It looks like it just by a hair. Yeah, just by a hair just went over the baseline. So there's two ways that I'm viewing this. Let's try that again. You know, right now there's a separation between momentums, right? So DI negative is leading the charge right now. You can see the separation up this way, and DI positive is moving down. This is the concerning part. You know, if you're looking for hedge longs, is that strength is literally just beginning right now. So what you ideally would want to see is potential volatility kick in, which means DI negative comes back down, DI positive comes up. ADX can still make its move up, right? ADX has nothing to do with bulls or bears, if you will. It's just it's a supporting indicator, and as far as which side is actually going to hold the momentum. Right now, between momentum, there's really no fight, right? Buyers are just laying down, and sellers are starting to rise up to the occasion, for lack of better terminology. As I've mentioned before, if that changes, if DI negative comes down and then this comes up, then we're going to have volatility. Volatility would look something like this. I like to refer to it as a DMI tango, right? Because they start intertwining with each other, because they're really battling it out as far as who's going to dominate, you know, the trend or that specific area. It doesn't indicate, you say, okay, well, if one side wins, then, you know, all-time lows or all-time highs. It doesn't really indicate that. It's just saying that, okay, well, that trend is running into a point of exhaustion, and it's going to start moving in favor of the opposite side. If we're going to be utilizing an LA wave thesis, and we're saying, okay, well, there's potential that we're inside of a wave A to the downside, I could very well see the volatility starting to kick in, where DI negative comes down, this comes up, ADX pushes it up a little bit. Maybe you get your ADX that starts to float a little bit above here, and then you get your DI positive floats a little bit over here, and then all of a sudden you see a sharp move down to the downside. So that would just be a short-term relief. But as of right now, from a longing position and just looking at trend, things of that nature, not that comfortable with it. So we want to wait. We got some time. I mean, at minimum, we got like at least 6 hours before we can actually make that call and say, okay, well, yeah, this is what I'm going to be longing. This is what I'm going to be doing. But I don't have to get the exact entry level for me to feel comfortable about the hedge, right? Like, let's say this was the low, the 707 inside that area. So if I want to have a safer entry, I'd wait to get back into this zone and just flip this area right over here, and then I can move up. That would be safer for me. Excuse me. Let me get some water, guys. Hang on real quick. Sniper says that he's short. He's looking for a hedge long around 1710, 1730s. I respect it. Okay. Right in between 0.5 and 618 pocket. Okay, so you're inside that golden pocket. Damn, that's a deep wave A. That's a deep wave A. Let's look at that together. Yo, Sniper, what time frame are you on? You on 4 hour? Or I wanna line up my my TA with yours. I'm looking around 60 cave zone to build some market structure for my inverse head and shoulders to play out. Okay. Okay. I like it. I respect it. We speak another language, guys. You can't walk into any establishment and just start talking about inverse head and shoulders or wave A's, and people just look at you funny. So understand that the knowledge you have is a completely different language, and the more versatile you're in that language, ultimately is going to point towards more profitability. So I salute you guys. I want to find that inverse head and shoulders that you're referring to. I think you're going this way. This way, if I'm looking at this correctly. You have multiple shoulders. Unless you're going deeper. If you're going for 60, yeah, then you're going deeper. But your right shoulder never formed. I think that's the issue. Drop it inside the server, if you don't mind, Camille. I want to see your inverse head and shoulder thesis. Por favor. Maybe you already did. Possibly you already did. But I may have overlooked it. I see it now. No, I see it now. I see it now. I see it now. I see it over here. Oh no, that's chain link. That's something different. That's something different. For my chart for wave A, 1 hour shows 100% dynamic. Okay, let's look at some dynamics here. What did you have, brother? 1730s. I'm a little bit deeper on my dynamic. We might have different bars. I'm at 405. And I'm not suggesting that for you to change it. I'm just saying we may just have different calculations, because I got a deeper hot pocket right around this area. I can see your 1710 in that area. But when we get into the hot pocket, we're actually right around like 1717. So let's see if we can find some additional patterns in that. I mean, we're approaching a pivot point. You can see it. I could definitely see that. I could definitely see that. Damn, that went straight to it. Look at that. That's something to pay attention to. There's a good chance that we, damn, that is a pretty strong pullback up. At least here on a 1 hour. That's pretty aggressive. What did we say about here on the 4 hour? Looking for that intense level? Yeah. Okay. Might get my hedge long here relatively soon. I gotta wait. I mean by soon, I might get it here in the next 2 hours. As a matter of fact, I'm gonna put this out here now. Did not mean to do that. I need to leave those fib levels back on. Yeah, let's see if we can build with that. Let's make it nice and pretty. A little bit elevated as far as what I'm going to try to explain here, but I'm looking at this as being a wave B from a harmonic. I'm looking at this being a potential wave B for the harmonic. So this leg right here, this leg, and then we can get that leg and then obviously move over. I don't have enough screen real estate, but you get the idea. When is this? This is July 27th. All right, that being said, let's go over to weekly, 2 week. Let's go to weekly first. One, two, three, four. What's the bottom of that? Yeah, I already have that labeled. So 1705. So they're losing strength and they're picking up momentum. Lagging indicator, which is fine. Didn't get a sell on this either. So there's no actual shakeout that's occurring here right now. Oh, great Pete. There's no shakeout that's occurring here. And then right over here, we can see that DI positive is starting to pick its nose up right in there. That's on a weekly though, so I don't have the falling 3 on a weekly. I have the falling 3 on a 2 week, which still opens the door for me to get back into this level, 1896 up to here. These two levels. Mind you, that's going to be on a 2 week. I may have done you guys an injustice by not sharing with you my daily view. In 1848 for this setup. So this is an anti-Gartley that I'm looking at. 1778 is where wave B is at. That's a bounce or break area. 1670 is where wave A is at. Wave C sits right around 1510. And there's a deeper fib level right where that 100% pocket sits, like around 1292. That only comes to fruition if not this week, the next 2 weeks. So over the course of the next 2 weeks, 16 days and 10 hours. We really want to split hairs here. You know, revisiting that area that I was just highlighting on an arrow for you, you know, revisiting here, whether it be like 1949 or 1896. I just don't want to break above here because then it starts to invalidate it. But everything inside of this candle, everything inside of here can constitute as the following three. So 1, 2, 3, that next candle, that bruise is going to give me my drop. But as we know, you know, there's got to be a high for it at some place on that next 2-week session. So that next high, you know, quote unquote high for that 2-week session can be here or here, these two levels. Which when we go back over to the 4-hour, you know, that brings us, son of a gun, that brings us right back into these areas. I don't know why my chart's doing that. That's very bizarre. Okay. All right, give me a second. Let me refresh. Sorry, guys. I'm not refreshing the stream, just refreshing this screen. There you go. Let's try that again. Yeah, boy, oh boy. Buyers are showing intent here. Yeah, that next 4-hour session, I think, is going to be where the hedge long is going to come in. I can maintain these levels. You know, this, if I want to start DCAing in here, let's just say that that's the case, that's the area. Or if I'm going to DCA inside these zones. So 1814, 1806 inside that zone. There was a coin that I was looking at earlier today over on the site. Fight is the one that I was looking at. Scored pretty high from a scanner perspective. So this is one that I want us to take a peek at. I've actually already started looking at it earlier today. And I think I have Hyperliquid on here, Damien. Yeah, I have Hyperliquid. Yeah, I have Hyperliquid on there as well too. And then I have Fight. So we're going to take a look at Fight and we're going to look at Hyperliquid. I know those some of the coins you guys were looking at yesterday. Let's go over to Hyperliquid. What do I have going on for that? You're just not done yet. I think I had you on a daily though. Yeah, I have you on a daily. I'm gonna set an alarm for this level right over here. You know what? I think I need to add this on there. Is that where I went? Oh no, pretty close. I'll set an alarm there too. So for there for Hyperliquid, and then Fight was the other one. Where'd you go? Yeah, Fight's coming up for a long. I see this as a 1. Just as an FYI, I see this as a 1. And technically, we could be already, the 2 could have already been done, and we're now entering into 3. You know. There's very limited data to go off of, right? But we had our all-time low here for Fight, and then we're tracing. We didn't breach underneath this low right over here. Can it come down lower? Yeah, it can come down to this level right over here. So I'm observing these levels. I'm going to set some alarms for that. As a matter of fact, we're gonna put a 98 on there too. So we just have a 98. Let's set some alarms there. You're stuck inside that channel. You might come back and revisit that channel. What was that, 1900? Yeah, so 1892-ish inside that area. That'll be good. That'll be good. Damn. That's aggressive buying right there. That's aggressive buying right there. Welcome back, welcome back, welcome back, welcome back, welcome back. On 1 hour? Okay. That's a strong move for ETH. What's up, Whacker? Good morning, brother. Welcome, welcome, welcome. It's another aspiring student. Guys putting in work. I personally love seeing when you guys are learning, man. It's a great feeling. It's a great feeling. Yeah, how bananas is this? Is it gonna be if this thing just booms all the way up to 1915 from here? Let's make some adjustments. Let's do that right now. Actually, I need to change those fibs. $19.28. Let's look at that as that's a thing. That could be an issue. That's the only way that I could run into a problem with this area right over here. Because if I'm going into a true wave B, let's do it this way. I'd really, because then it's going to be rinse and repeat. It's going to be the same thing I've been looking at for the last, oh my gosh, like week now. This is a perfect world, in my opinion, coming into here and then, you know, getting a C that's down on those levels. Let me take the dynamic off real quick. I do want to add this though. Oh, you held on to that shelf. You held on to this shelf. Very thin trading volume over here. What do you have over here? You have a gap right here. Okay. Son of a donkey. Bro, because if I get back into this area, if I sweep this zone right over here, it invalidates my count as far as 1, 2, 3. but it won't invalidate a B for me, a wave B. So I think the best course of action right now is to look at a potential B. So let's do that real quick. What tool are you looking for, Saint? Brain fog. Don't get old, guys. Don't get old. I think in 1920s I had distribution. You have distribution here inside this area. Okay. I need a shorter one. I just want to see the inside here. Okay. I'm looking for the interior. I use two different fixed range volume profiles. One so I can get the interior and one I can get a little bit wider out. So you held onto this block basically. Yeah, you held onto that block. Okay. And volume area high sits at 1880. All right, so somewhere in between here. So I've got a golden pocket right inside here. That would be a B. And then if I can get a zigzag. That's confusing, so let's change that to yellow. That won't work, man. That's gonna be a short wave 3, bro. That won't work. You'd have to go deeper. I like it. I like it more this way, to be honest with you. I like these levels more. I'm gonna stick to that. It's one to work with. You should be sharp, because that's not really that sharp. That's really not that sharp. I'd prefer you to be somewhere right around here. Yeah, I'm gonna run with that. Alright, so this is our range for the week, to be honest with you. It's our week high and there's our week low. One thing we should check on, let's go to a 30-minute real quick. And let's look at some sessions. So basically every session has swept it, so. What's that area I was talking about? 1907, what are you? 1892, you're the previous New York. It has yet to be swept. Oh snap, is that a shaved head? Oh no, it's not. Okay. I got a nice cooldown on that. A nice cooldown on that too. And there's my 9 right there. Okay. Okay. That's 30 though. Let's go to all right. What is this? All right, so we got some cooldown here on a 1 hour. 4 hour, it's somewhat moderate. 30-minute. If I'm looking at execution, I mean, it doesn't get any better than that. $11 breakage structures there, bro. Okay. $18.32. Yeah, the regime is definitely bearish. I need some coffee. I need some coffee. How do you get the sessions? It's funny how much I don't know yet. Yeah, brother, you just always got to remain a student. How you get sessions? I'll add you to the sessions. Which indicator has the PRZ? None of them really. I mean, outside of if you're utilizing the pattern tool, or if you're utilizing the Liquidity Citadel suite and you're looking for the sweep areas, your sweeps are going to start pointing towards your PRZ. So I'll come over to a 1 hour, right? So I was executing here on a 1 hour for my short inside this zone. And then all I really did here is I was looking at saying, okay, well, if I'm going to reverse, what am I going to be testing? And so this was a previous intent level. See the intent. They try to sweep it, but confirmation didn't give us a new low, and then it pushed right back up. So all this area, this red box inside here, became an intent area. That's important for where we are now, because now then we swept it, we completely violated that area, and then we came back and we tried to flip it. So what was support that led to this high right over here of 2400, this support area now becomes that resistance. So this entire block becomes your PRZ. So with that said, if you're identifying that in advance and you're looking for execution, I was executing on a 1 hour here. I was waiting for the sweep. This is the high, pushed higher, but then we closed right underneath it. So this is why this constituted as a sweep. If this candle would have closed above here, you wouldn't see a sweep in this area. You'd have to wait for the next candle to show you that sweep. Same thing over here. Had a high, the next candle pushed higher, and then came down lower, so you had a sweep. Move sideways, 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 pushed up in this area, but closed underneath. It's white. It doesn't have the label of sweep, but it's white. So what I'm trying to illustrate here is when you start to see your sweeps, those are entering into your PRZ zones, because it's a liquidation grab. It's running stops, stop loss hunts, you know, whatever phrase you want to utilize for it. I just try to simplify it by saying look for the liquidity sweeps. So once you have your structure, then you're going down to an execution time frame. Execution can vary, depends on what kind of trade that you're taking. You know, if you're looking for swings overall, then your execution should come from a moderate time frame, like a 1 hour, maybe a 30-minute. If you're looking for like an intraday, maybe even down to a scalp, you're going down to like a 15-minute down to like a 2-minute. A big old dogfight right here. So what you saw me label here, this is just a box, and I just added the title on there, PRZ. So from this angle, from this perspective, saying, okay, well, this is a clear pivot point right over here, right? Because price came down and pivot, move this way. This is a clear pivot point because price reached a certain area and then moved down. And now what we're trying to figure out is this going to be another pivot point? We won't know that until we actually start seeing signs of weakness to the downside, meaning bears are just getting a little bit tired here and they need to take a small little break. So this becomes a PRZ, price reversal zone, to the upside. And then once we get into this area, we need to identify the same thing. Are we going to get tired in that area? And then we start looking at a price reversal zone area. What's good about this move right over here is that we'll actually have this data that sits right over here. And maybe we run right back into distribution levels and or supply, however you want to put it. But you're just going to look for the sweeps on those moves. And you'll probably find this move right over here to the upside. If I'm going to be looking, I did not mean to do that. If I'm looking to execute on my short, I'm going to go down to a lower time frame, and I'm going to look for the sweeps. As this moves up, I'm going to look for the sweeps that come in here. So I might see a couple candles. Maybe I get a candle that sits here, and then all of a sudden you get a push up, and then it closes back underneath here. So kind of what I was just explaining on how to read the sweeps, that's what I'm going to be looking for in the lower time frame. That'd be an add back to my short. My short's from 1942. Sorry, 1943.62. I've already taken some profits off of it. I've taken like 35% profit off of it thus so far. And then, like I said, once I get into these areas, I'll have an add back. Right now, I really want to position myself with a hedge. That's kind of like my focal point here. I'm not looking to add to my shorts. I'm fine with my short as is. I don't want to add to it and mess up my average in the event that we come back over here and then I feel the pinch of a round trip because I added way too late in the game versus just waiting for price to come to a specific level for me and then go from there. And that's, you know, that's how I tame greed in that perspective. You know, you have a move to the downside, you're like, oh, F it, let me just, you know, full port it now. We're gonna go down to the bottom, and then all of a sudden it starts coming all the way back up. I've ran that gamut one too many times in my career of trading. And it's one of those, you know, lessons learned. Just don't do that. So I'd rather just wait. And so when I get into this area or this area, because I have a BSL that's obviously printing right there, that's probably going to be a better level. And so we have buy side liquidity. So maybe I get a sweep into this area and then I close underneath. There's a fib level that I have here. It's from one of my other setups that I have on my chart. But like 1922, I believe, was like a 1.272 area that I was marking off. So this 1928 being now a 0.88 level, I kind of like it. It lines up with the buy side liquidity as well too. Anyways, it's a long way of answering your question, but I hope it does. So I don't think we're gonna find anything here. Might find an ABCD here, but I don't think I'm gonna find anything here. They're giving me a white swan. I haven't seen a white swan in forever and a day. All right, let's run with it. Let's see what it looks like. Look at you, and you're going to my TP too. Yeah, kind of like it now. I think I already have that measurement, right? Yeah, that's here to here. Okay, yeah, I already have that measurement. And then patterns follow patterns, see? Yep. Yep, 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 yep. Yeah, this is a funky one. It's a rare one. It's not that common. You have white swans and black swans. It's not a super common one. White Sean? Oh boy. Whoops. All right, let's see what we can get inside of here. Reading sweeps around 58 minutes, commenting for notes and rewatching. Got you. I'll double check on your Citadel sweep for you. I got you. What's up, boy? Good morning, brother. I am the indicator. Jokes. All right, guys, give me like 2 minutes. I'm gonna make some coffee. I'm gonna leave everything on here. I'm gonna keep my charts open. Go back to the 1 hour. I'll keep the 1 hour open so you guys have an idea as far as what I'm looking at. I'm just gonna make some coffee real quick. Be right back. Just remember, guys, everything I've outlined in today's stream thus so far, everything is outlined in the market analysis that's right there on the site. You don't have to just trade ETH. There's other coins that are on there with the setups that you should be looking at and observing. It's not an invitation to say, okay, well, the scanner says long here, so I'm going to long here. It says short here, I'm going to short here. It's an invitation for you to do your due diligence and do some research on it. So just a reminder, it's the Liquidity Citadel.trade. This is where you'll find everything that's inside of here. Yes, this sounds like a plug. However, it's all free. It's for you guys. So everything from education is in here. You guys are struggling with something, understanding volume dynamics, support, want to know about harmonic patterns, struggling with risk management, the emotional side of it, different strategies that you can utilize, some of the tools that I use, directional moving index, all that stuff is here. These are just small little snippets into our courses that we do have, but I'm providing it here for you guys for free, so you guys have something, some meat on the bone to go off of. And then obviously, as I mentioned before, all the different setups are going to be inside of here, inside this area. You can open them up straight onto your chart if you wanted to. So maybe you just want to do everything from one area. You don't have to flip flop between TradingView and the site. You can just open up the order flow and then you can start charting from there. You'll see some of the scans here. These are connected to, I believe, Blofin. So sometimes, like if you click on this, you won't find it. It'll show you signal symbols not found. But if you just type in fight and leave it there, you'll find the exchange that actually has it. So whatever exchange that you're actually trading on, you can just use it like that. So let's just say you're using Bybit, you can just chart it from there and you have all your tools that are in here as well too. If you want something a little bit more visual, you can see which ones from a volume perspective is on there as well too. Execution, you know how you want to execute it. You can build your plan, so you can literally just take this information, copy it, put it inside of your journal, and start setting your alarms on there as well too. And then obviously Intel, this is overall market viewpoints. You can see the grid is sitting right around 27. It was at 23 earlier in the week, just as an FYI. But if you struggle with reading trend and things of that nature, there's tools on here that you can just pop on here and be like, okay, well, what's the overall bias of the market right now? And so predominantly it's shorts right now. Shorts are winning. If you do decide to go back over to the scanner and utilize it, there's a public facing view and then there's a membership view. Again, membership is free. This is for individuals that are already inside of our server, inside of the VIP access section. Some of you guys have already reached out to me asking for the code for it. I've already shared it with you guys. It's just small little verification, just making sure inside of our server, and so you get full access to everything that you can see inside here. If you don't have the code, then it looks like this. All this stuff will be gated and locked down. You can request the code, it'll take you straight into the server, and just DM me and then I'll walk you through it. But hopefully that helps. And then once you unlock it, you'll get all the remainder of the information in here. Really what I look for is I look for the higher scoring ones. So like 86 and above. I mean, excuse me, and 70 and above. So I really like to look for like 75 to like upper 90s. So once I start seeing the scans start picking up higher mark ones, I start putting it on my radar. And sometimes I miss the move, right? So then if I miss the move, I look for the TPs and then I start looking for the inverse move for it. So in the event that I miss this long, which I'm not in this entry, and I'm looking for my TPs start becoming where I'm going to start looking for shorts. Just as an FYI. None of you guys asked, but it's good for you guys to know, because going back into it real quick, inside this section, everything that I discuss is right here inside of this video. It's right here inside this video. And if you need to see previous updates and briefings, they're all going to be here. It's going to show you the last 3 briefings. So in case you miss something, or if you want to compare, whatever, it doesn't matter to me. I'll have all of them here for you. So this is the latest one. And what I'm doing now for you guys is, I understand that a lot of people like to learn with visuals. So instead of reading, so some of the information you may be reading, maybe you understand or you don't understand, or maybe you just need someone to point it for you. That's why we have the videos that are right here. So it's going to be a quick little 3-minute video, and then that's what it is. All right, let's go back to the charts. Oh man. We got any coffee drinkers? I've been flip-flopping between tea. I did tea for a good while, but you know, that Cuban in me needs to get some of that good old coffee in me. I think we go range bound. Yeah, at the end of the day, I think we go range bound for a little bit before we can actually get that power move to the downside. Five to 6 cups a day? Damn. Ondo? Yeah, I got you. Did Ondo come up on the scanner? Is that where this is coming from? I feel like I've traded Ondo before. There you are. I knew I've traded Ondo before. That's on Binance. Same data. Okay, cool. What the hell is this? Bro. What? I mean, I've seen gaps before, but jeez. Immediately, like, my brain goes towards, like, don't touch that until you feel that gap. This kind of moves like Clo a little bit. Let's start with the weekly. Let me see what I can get on a weekly. Bro, this is crazy. And there's such thin liquidity right here, man. Hold on, guys. Oh, sorry, I heard something slam in my house. I was like, what the hell was that? Okay. You can access a scanner for free. There's a public facing version for it. So no, you can view the scans for free. If you want more details on them, like past reports, things that are printing on there, you need to be inside the server. Welcome. See, I don't like that count. I mean, I see it, but I'd probably go. It's not a clean count there, though. Because that's wrong. That's wrong. Yeah. I could probably go the other way. Go 1, 2, and then 3. Yeah, that's better put. So I can go 1, 2. Yeah, I can go that way. Let's just make the assumption. Let's play devil's advocate here and say that it gets it here, and then again, my brain just goes towards this gap. Like, so how would I be able to get there? It's a small one, like 1 to 2. It's a small one, so I don't know if this is going to be that deep. Let's just see what a wave 4 would look like. Let's find an idea here. I mean, honestly, I mean, can't even get a dynamic on here. I mean, that's for my weekly, of course, but yeah. Okay, definitely. Okay, cool. Oh, so there's my subwave. This level makes the most sense to me. 0.5. I didn't want the 3-2. And kind of very similar to like what I was illustrating about ETH, you know, talking about intent, things of that nature. You know, this little move right here took us to a local high, if you will, right? Right above here inside this area. So I'd actually go from here to here. I mean, you can even go a step further and just use something basic, really. Probably be confined to something like that. That's probably going to go into an that's probably going to go into a diagonal. Yeah, so I don't even need that anymore. I can just see how that's probably going to shape up. I think that's your best bet, is looking for a flag out of that. Bro, this thing would go to freaking 0. Yeah, I don't think a flag will give you the full distance. Yeah, that would put you in negatives. Yeah, so if I'm going for Ondo, I wouldn't feel comfortable until I close this, man. until I close that gap. Because any move from here, from this area, from a weekly perspective, 4 hour, 1 hour, what have you, still opens the door to say I'm going to revisit that area at some point. I'd like to see the short. And I'll be nice. I'll take 50% of that. That's how I would do. That's how I would treat Ondo. I'll drop it inside of the chat section for you. Actually, I'll just put it in a playback so it's in case other people want to see it, they can grab it too. All right, it's in the playback for you, bro. I have it on my watch list now for us, so if it comes up, it comes up. Oh, did you touch? You did touch. You try to flip it. Oh, you came real close to it. Real close to it. You missed it by a hair. You're gonna come back. USDT will come back here. Have no fear. Yeah, ETH was starting to look kind of good there. Quickly losing steam. Quickly losing steam. Yeah, there's another pair that you guys are hunting. You need some feedback on, or you're looking for confluence on. Feel free to put it in the chat. We got some time. I don't think the moves are are too crazy. Or we can't juggle between the two. I'll just do a lightning round with you guys. Let's go to Sol. Let's go to daily on these. Meh, still waiting for Sol. My alarms are set right over here, so that's quick and easy. Yeah, we're waiting for this right over here. Fight. I already went over that with you guys a little earlier. Yeah, waiting for that. Alarms are set. Really want to see this area over here, so if I can get another sweep on that. Prom, I didn't end up touching Prom because it never came to my area, so still waiting on Prom. FET, I did long FET, I closed FET. I actually kind of like FET, I like the structure of FET. I have an entry that sits right around 1545 with a tight stop loss in the event that this trend line becomes liquidity. So next level for me would be 1471 inside that area. And even down to this sell side liquidity, which is like 13 and some change. Beat has done absolute nothing. I'm waiting for that one. River. Still waiting for you, buddy. Still waiting for you. Flow. Yeah, Clo is a beast, man. The one reason I like Clo is because it's almost like a little bit too predictable in that sense. Like it always has this move. Like it comes down and then you'll see it moving sideways and then boom. Then you have a drop sideways, boom. Rinse, repeat, rinse, repeat, rinse, repeat. Didn't happen this time. This time it went down, but now you have that sideways movement and then you went up. You can make good bank on Clo. You can make good bank on Clo. I longed it. I didn't short it. I ended up going to sleep on that one. But my short levels were all tapped into. But now I don't trust this move anymore. So for me, I would be looking at somewhere around here for a close next level. Zora. I think I traded Zora as a scalp. I gotta go back to my records. Damn, that thing is running hot immediately on a 4-hour. Sheesh. And you can tell based on this candle right here. Yeah, that thing feels like it's about to be punished. Yep. Can't touch that one yet. Can't touch it. Da-na-na-na. STG, this one keeps going off. I lost my wave 2. So this is invalidated. I gotta map that one from scratch. I'll come back to this one. I want to check on ETH real quick because ETH is making a little bit of a move right now. So the second I step away, it's like, oh, look, we're moving now. And as soon as I come back and have to babysit, it's like, oh, I was just joking. I wasn't going anywhere. Sure you weren't. ARB? Yeah, I'll take a look at ARB. Bouncing off the 5-minute high. What you got, dog? What you got? What you got? You got a 9 print. Oh, okay. I see what you're doing. Yeah, let's take a... Let's do this real quick. Nope, not the one I wanted. What the heck do I have here? What is that? Oh, okay. Best case scenario. I see what you're doing, big dog. I see what you're doing. So just be careful because they did violate it. I mean, it's a wick, it's good, but bro, if you start closing underneath here, like right now, which this current candle just did on the 5-minute, that 5 minutes just finished, just be careful. Remember, we have some deeper levels. Yeah, that 1806 is going to be pretty important. That's a psychological holding on to that 1800. If I can hold 1806, I'll trigger one. Technically, I'm on that 4 hour. I'm on a 9 now, but I'm on a 1 on that lead up phase. That is such a clean sequential count too, bro. Such a clean sequential count. You still got your head short though, right? You still have your short? Oh, I'm glad you did it too. Oh, somebody asked me for ARB. My bad. Let me go to ARB. My ADD kicked in. Can't do anything with that, bro. Things in price discovery right now. Just trying to find its footing. It has no idea where it wants to go. I think your best bet right now is just utilizing a channel with it. Yeah, I'm thinking best bet on that is just wait for something right around here. No, that's a lie. Because now I'm in negatives. Damn, that's a tough one, man. This is going to be super high risk, but I'm going to look at it this way. See, normally, you know, we'd want to say, okay, well, we're going to test the high and we're going to hold that, but there's very thin liquidity right there. So while people are probably trying to long that, you'll probably see a boom, a push down right into that. You see a push down right into that. If I was trading this, can I get a true wave 2 out of that? Yeah, for me, it would look something like that. I'll drop it inside the playback section for you. There, it's in the playback. Arkham? You only took 50% at. Okay, so Snipe's still outside his short. That's what's up. Arkham. Bro, are these coins like copying each other or what? Yeah. Well, you definitely got an impulse coming. Definitely have an impulse coming. You got a nice double bottom right here too. I mean, it's a classic double bottom right there. Bro, give me 88 and I'll definitely consider it. Because right now I'm rejecting the 76. And that's not a good look. And I could fill in a little bit of this down to right here. This doesn't mean I wouldn't re-enter. I would just keep it tight. Oh, I'm an idiot. Damn it. I need to go back and go check something. Okay. Were you cleared? Yeah, you were cleared. Damn. You got nothing there. I only got a fair value gap that sits inside that zone. Yeah. Can you pour the rest of that in here? Thank you. There it is. You can't even get anything traditional out of that. Thank you. The volume sucks on this too. Only way this works, like overall, like actually coming out of this death spiral that it's in and actually going into something meaningful, is if I get a scallop bottom here in this area. So anyway, that works. That whole block. That's exactly what I'm going after. Even the dynamics suck on it. Ah, look at you, Pikachu. Are you sitting in the? You're sitting in the right above the 100. Yep. Yup. That's a 4-hour too. Still leave it tight. Maybe I could play around with this a little bit. I'll leave this zoomed in. So when I post it inside, you can see it. You can see the structure that I'm looking at. And I'll leave you with the daily. I'll take the dynamics off real quick. I want to double check one more thing. Sorry. Yeah, distribution phase was what I figured, assumed. Nothing's gonna come up yet because there's no pivots on this thing. That's why it's so difficult for at least my strategy, the way that I trade. Like I barely have any pivots. So I'll zoom in on this. I'll leave you with that. And I'll actually set an alarm. So if it does go off, I'll consider actually trading it. I'll set an alarm in the box as well too. So you can see where my alarms are. My alarms are inside this box, and then a potential entry area right over here. I don't like the coin though, to be honest. I don't like the setup. I don't like the structure. That's what I meant. Yeah. For the day that USDT decides to fall off a cliff, I might do a backflip live on stream. It's been trading this low volume area since May, bro. Since May. Look at that. Since May. USDT is an orphan child because it started pumping during Mother's Day. So it was It was a revenge pump. Must be an orphan. I'm joking. I'm so joking. It's a bad joke. Nothing against anybody that's been orphaned. All right, this next 4-hour session, this is going to be the one to figure out if we've actually hit a local bottom. It's like catching a falling knife here, so it's risky. I don't want to guide anybody in the wrong way. But we will look at a 3-minute. Where did that come from? Oh, you got a shaved bottom there, don't you? Don't you? Come on, show it to me. There you are. So this kind of feeds into kind of what you were looking at, Snipe. Damn, it went straight to the 76? Dang. A subwave, maybe? Yeah, gosh, bro, this level keeps coming back up. This level right here. You know what? I don't need any of that crap. I can just do it manually. That would need to come down to invalidate it. Don't mind me. I'm just fooling around here. I'm looking for something. It's a 3-minute, so. All right, let me go back to that idea. So what if I was a 5? Where do I go to if I'm a 5? Mm-mm-mm. Mm-mm-mm-mm-mm. You gotta be short. You're gonna be super flat, watch. I bet money on that one I was gonna be flat. That's an advance way of those things, so nope. Okay. Okay, so you could go to an advance. Oh, I don't think I'm gonna get 1806. If that goes, I'm not gonna get 1806. This is a New York session. It's residue, but I'm glad it's still there because we're gonna revisit an area that was a New York session. Actually, you know what? I just turned the whole thing off. I don't need it on right now. I don't need you on either. And I don't need you on. I do want internal though, so I want to see what that looks like. Or we got so many shaved heads, shaved bottoms that are sitting right over here though. Change a character there, but that's we still got volatility. We got a new 4 hour. We have a new 4 hour. That's going to pick in here. See, I think that's too big. But there's no way I can get there. It's not going to be possible. Sheesh. All right, it's one of you two. It's probably you. It's probably you. What the hell was this? I don't even remember. I'll get rid of it. $1866. I would have a very flat wave 2. So what did I have here? I have like 1866, right? The only way that changes is if this bad boy moves a little bit higher. What do I have here? Let's see. Maybe if I get 3 here. All right, don't do that just yet. Go and fix this. Because then if I'm flat, damn, that's if I'm flat. And what's C? Let's see. Flat would be there. 1763. Yep. I think somebody was calling for that earlier. I could see that. First level would be so that's making the assumption like if I never get to this area, then what happens is this. I'll show you. All right, let's just assume we get here, right? So then this moves down, and that's my 1. And this won't change. I'll still need my 2 over here. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh, that would be detrimental. Bro, where's 1.618? Please show me 1.618. That's best case scenario, man. I wouldn't even touch wave 4. If anything, I'd have an add back to that. Eesh. Que diablo, really? Yeah. So my biggest focal point right now is going to be this guy right here. I'm gonna take the PRZ for off right now. I mean, let's just give it a little bit more. That makes a little bit more sense to me. And go flat and 1, 2, 3. Yep. And then we just get a much larger ABC out of that too. I have a feeling this will be a fast move. Yeah, come on, give me 1874, 1882 inside that area. I have an 1882 area, but I might get front ran in that area. Yeah, and that actually takes us, you know what? Because this actually takes us right into this apex. If you're curious as to what apex I'm referring to these right here. Yeah, because we've already had something similar to that, right? And then kind of looking for something similar right there. I think this will be a sharp move. Boom, boom. And then long it right back into this. I were to long it back into this, and let's say my entire count is wrong, and then we just go higher, then I'd rather be positioned and be wrong. Yeah, it don't look good at all for daily though. This thing just might completely tank. I got 1866 on there. And that essentially would be my B. What did I have here? I can't see that. How does that say? So we're 66. So I'm right inside that sweet spot. Right inside that golden pocket. So we're 66. Oh, that's 74. Oh my gosh. I'm retarded. I'm absolutely brain dead right now. Alright, so I'm fine with that. Because where do I have you finishing? Yeah. That's what we're going with. These moves right here, I mean, these are going to be scalps intradays, just depending on how everything plays out. I mean, I'm on a 4 hour, so you can constitute them as an intraday. All right. And then I would expect somewhere like Asia just to come right here and move sideways a little bit, and then we'll move up. Then we'll get a move down, and this is like the 25th, which is a Saturday, so that's next week. And that opens up the door for the next 2-week session for us to get back into these. That still leaves the door open for us. What does monthly look like? This only works if this thing does not reclaim that. If this reclaims it, then ETH is going to go lower. But if this thing starts to come down and decides to start sweeping this area right over here, right inside here, then that's going to push ETH relatively higher. So you really want to see USDT kind of maintain and hold this little formation, this rising wedge that it's created. It's more of a barrier triangle. And you got a flat top right here, and then you have your ascending trend line right here. Could you imagine? Could you imagine? I'd lose my ever-loving mind. I'm not saying that's gonna happen, I'm just saying, could you imagine? Alright, I think we're in a new 4 hour. Yeah, we're in a new 4 hour. Let's see how this thing can shape up. It held that intense line. Remember, we were talking about that intent line earlier. Right? It maintained all this, see? Close above, close above. All these wicks are just representing liquidity. So everybody that's trying to long this area, pushing them out with high leverage. So fully anticipate this just kind of stay around this area for a little bit, and then we'll finally see an impulse. I didn't get back to 1806. So on this 4 hour session, I'll look for an entry for a long, because I think we're going to go into that B. If we go into the B first, then I'll just kill the long idea and just look for the add back for the short. I mean, sheesh, look at that. Welcome to Arts and Crafts, kids. Today we're going to draw smiley faces. Damn, I should have gobbled that up, man. Pause, that doesn't sound right. I should have entered on this. Hey, yo. Let's go back over to 4 hour. What can I get on an 89 minute? Here's a good example of a falling three, if you will. This right here, down, and then you have dun 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 dun. But see, notice how it doesn't reach above here, and then you get this candle. And so let's look at it like this. This is the exact same thing that I'm looking for on the 2 week. Exactly what I'm looking for on the 2 week. So I won't see that next candle, that major drop, until the next 2 days and some change. So in a perfect world, it'd be great if we can just kind of get into this area, get into this zone, and then we can get that flush down. But man, that 4 hour, if that's the case, if this becomes that one, if we get down to here and we get that one down there, oof, 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 oof. Wave 3 is definitely going to sweep June low, and July is going to obliterate. I'm giving it the benefit of doubt and saying that it comes to like a 1.618 right now. Because 2.618, look at that, that's 2.618. So not only does wave 3 sweep it, then you're gonna have 5 that still takes us here. Possibly even lower. What did I have? I think I had oh no, I can show you right here. That's what the door opens for. And I could front run that, like all this space from here down to here. You know, we can land somewhere inside here. Let's look left. Let's see what we got on a daily when we look left. We're looking inside this zone right here. So double bottom over here, maybe. Triple bottom, maybe. What is that, 1402? Bro, textbook channel. This is where everybody starts panicking. Everybody starts panicking there. $18.31. We get a triple bottom. If we get a triple bottom, we hold that triple bottom, do a $500 giveaway. I say no. We get a triple bottom, we'll do a $500 giveaway. Obviously, you got to be subscribed to the channel. Got to like and comment the video, all that jazz, all of the stuff that you guys know how giveaways work. Come on, give me 18. Give me that 1870. Boy, these are gonna be some fast moves, man. Watch. Boom, boom. That's gonna just be ugly. And it's gonna do boom, boom, boom. Because we got two sharp characteristic waves. Wave B can be flattish, but the way that it moves is relatively sharp. This might be a little bit prolonged. Maybe. But this is definitely going to be sharp. This is not going to be prolonged that way. Short, long, short, TP, add back, TP, and pray if you're bullish that you can hold this. Right, if this thing just sinks, right, like it just keeps going, then TP here, still wouldn't long it, wait for the 4, then I'll wait for the 5. And that 5, what did I just say? What was that? 13 something? Oh, 1402, excuse me. Yeah, that's right here. Which kind of makes a little bit more sense when we start looking at everything. I think we should just do that now and just put ourselves out of our misery in the sense of looking for where that's going to be. Okay, I'll even label it for you guys. Yeah. I don't think you'll be that aggressive. I think you'll probably take a little bit more time. You'll probably fudge, man. That puts us in August. I mean, we're already pretty much halfway done with this month anyway, so. All right. This is still TBD because I don't know where 2 is going to go, but we'll figure it out. Where do you come from? You come from here, right? How do I have you labeled? Yeah, wave 5 extension. Okay. And that's like worst case scenario on that. We'll see truncation on that. I thought I had a pattern. Okay, I don't have a pattern on that. So what if I do it this way? No, that won't work. I need the 4 hour for that. See, that's too deep, man. That's not. It's just an idea. Why does it? I don't know why it does that. That's fine. I'm not gonna sit there and try to figure it out. Hmm. Not the one. So what I'm looking for right now is I'm looking for a larger pattern that could develop on the higher time frame to show me a potential, if the potential triple bottom area that we're looking at, if I can find myself into a PRZ inside that area. So that's what I'm hunting for right now. Yeah, that's going into vertical run-up mode. And that feeds into that falling 3. So we're looking for the pivot points, right? And if I'm looking for a bullish pattern, my X is going to start on the bottom. So anytime you're looking for a bullish pattern, your X will start at the bottom. And you have your A. Your B is usually going to be like somewhere like midpoint. Sometimes it's a little bit sharper like this in this area. In rare cases, you'll find it like this. That's where we found the white swan. You can even find a bullish 5.0 that looks something like that. Those are very rare. So I really don't start mapping those out just because of their rarity. So I'm looking for something that has generic, if you will. I'm looking for generic. Then I'm going to get my C, and then I'm going to get my D. If I stop somewhere around here, which looks like a triple bottom or anything like that, then I have a Navarro pattern or a butterfly or a bat. It just depends on where this ratio ends. Its longevity also matters as well too. If it's stretched out, then it becomes an anti-pattern. So that's what I'm looking for. So what I really need to be focusing on are the pivot points. And I need 5 pivot points for me to find, or at least identify, a harmonic pattern. Harmonics are going to be reversal patterns. So when I come here and I start looking on, at least on a daily, I'm looking for the bigger move. Maybe we go to a weekly. Yeah, the data there is really thin. What does that look like? But you'd be stretched out. My gosh, that takes us to February. I don't even like that. Ugh. I want something that puts me inside of August, September, maybe. And the market doesn't have to give a crap about what I want. That's what I'm looking for. So I know I have a pivot here. I mean, it's pretty evident. Right, so I can work with that. I can work with that. I can work with this. But the issue with that is, like, this sucks for a pivot. Even though it was a pivot and prices tanked from there. And that's going to kind of stretch out where that D leg is going to be. So let's look at it that way. Yeah, buddy. Let's see an anti-crab. more of a deep crab, to be honest with you. Let's move this out a little bit. Let's try to get those pivot points. Let's try to get it clean. So this becomes our PRZ, or it's a zone that we're looking for. We're looking for a zone. So this becomes our zone. My bullish optimistic side doesn't want to even see that, to be honest with you. I really want to see us, you know, maintain inside of these areas, right inside here. But if we do it that way, that doesn't really make a whole lot of sense. This makes a little bit more sense to us. Because now we have sweep, sweep, and then we can move into this. And then we'll have triple bottom areas. Because what's this? 2608. This is where the CME gap was. We never even gone to it. Never even came close to it. You know, if I'm gonna use what do you call it? Crypto dialogue. I think this is where generational wealth would really begin. And you'll be in this position for a very, very long time. So probably best bet is to do spots. And if you're going to do leverage, then it's one of those you just kind of sit in and walk away. There's a select few that can do that. I know Sniper's one of those guys that can do that. He's been in one for like almost like 10 months now. That would be our first TP. That would be our second TP. So you'd probably see like moves up to here, retracement, then come up to here, and then we move sideways for a little bit, come down a little bit, retest, and then get another leg up. Rinse and repeat, rinse and repeat, rinse and repeat. Yeah. I mean, I know I just put that out there somewhere. Where the heck did it go? Maybe I lost it? I don't know. Let's move this over to... Where do we want to move this to? We'll move this over to here. Which is fine. What does that look like for the channel? It's a little bit wonky. So you're probably going to force me to bring you in a little bit. What happens if I bring you to there? Yeah, I don't like that. I'll just leave that alone for right now. That's just a working channel. All right, let's see how that works out. Let's go back over to 3 minutes, see what we got developing here so we can get into our wave B. And it's still holding that formation. Let me use the restroom real quick, guys. I'll be right back. Mm-mm. I know one community member that likes this idea. Solar's probably looking at this like, yes, lower, give me lower. That's my boy right there, man. And where the heck would that put BTC? Harfig Newton. Mm-mm-mm. 47.48. Actually, I'm gonna do one even better. $49 through $46. That's where that puts that. And then USDT. Yeah, USDT just rips heads off. For that to happen, I just want to see USD just clear this for us, please. So we can get that nice little short and then we can move down in USDT. I give you permission to pass. Yeah. Find this little bottom right there. Oh my gosh, imagine. He's ready to cry with me. We'll cry together. We'll cry together, guys. And unless you're short, then you're going to be very happy. I'll post this inside the server just so you guys have a reference. Lower. I think we got a. I think we have a decent subwave. Didn't take the entry here. I may have another account, but not on this stream. I'm not long on this stream from these levels. On another account, I'm long from these levels. So I'm not really counting it towards like challenges or anything like that, because I wasn't able to get in on it. I was waiting for at least another pullback into that area, which is fine. Then we'll just reload here. Just reload. All right, what else can I look at? What else can I look at? Tool. Ain't no way. a nice Navarro. We'll take it. Well, that makes total sense. You might get a nine. You might have a little bit more push, but that's fine. It's the same area, so I don't care really. But I do need a fix. Ain't no way you're gonna do that in one move. Yeah, you're probably somewhere around here. Damn, what happens if I stretch this out over here? Yeah, it still fits. Still fits. I'll put this in the playback, so if you guys ever need it or want it, it's there. Say with me, class. It's always going to be your clue if you're inside of a wave 3. You got a vertical run up. Yeah, vertical run up. I'm coming for you. That's why I don't chase that short. When you start seeing that move come down, you just don't chase it. You just wait. And I'm not saying that you chase it, sniper. I'm just speaking in general. Like, I just wait. I feel like I'm beating a dead horse, but like I've gone over the levels, like what everybody needs to look at. We just need to be concerned, excuse me, if this turns into distribution here inside of this area. Hopefully we can get a nice little, like if price came all the way back down to this area, I'm not interested in relonging it at that area. Because I'm getting into like wave B territories. It'd be the smallest wave B you've seen in a very long time if it were to stop right here. So I think maybe pushing and sweeping would make a lot more sense. Catch late shorts. I wouldn't say bottom shorters, but late shorts. That's kind of what I would anticipate. You're short from yesterday, so my plan is to cut the short profits after already taking 50% and just use that after wave completes. That's what's up. Yeah, I've been sitting in this short for like 2 days. 2 days and some change. So now we just got a lot of waiting going on. Just gotta wait. What time frame you guys want to stay on? You guys want to stay on a 3-minute? Give you a little bit of anxiety. Yeah, I got my alarm set for this one. It's almost similar to ETH, but I think I need to sweep some of these areas right over here. All right, I need to sweep all that. Create that liquidity, then boom. Sweep this. Get into this supply zone over here. Then bye-bye. See you later. I have so many alarms that are out there right now. Oh, losing some steam. You're losing some steam there, buddy. Yeah, like I said, if it comes back down to this area, just nah. Just hold the short, let the short play out. I'd wait for lower. Yep, struggle bus. Good intent. Good liquidity. All right, brother. God bless you. You guys are getting good content out of today. You guys are learning something, seeing something you haven't seen before, getting confirmation or confluence. Please do me a solid. Hit the like button. drop a comment in the comment section of the video. It definitely helps the page and keeps me informed that you guys are actually liking this content. It's highly appreciated. Highly appreciated. Did all that? Thank you, boy. I appreciate you, brother. Thank you. Oh, good, brother. I always appreciate when you're here, man. Thank you, man. I always appreciate your support, man. Mad love, brother. Mad love. Why is USDT over here? Oh, because that's the multiple. Okay, I'm like, why is that like that? Oh, damn. Yeah, I hate when that happens. That's a new 1 hour coming in. All right, say less. What did I do to the 3 minute? Inducement? Maybe. Sweeping those. Perfect world would be sweeping this right here. I think that's a 9 failure there. Oh no, it's not. That's an 8 right there. Yeah, that's an 8 right there. Yeah, 8 was higher. And the 9 failure we really want to target is on the weekly. That's this bad boy right over here. I don't know when we're going to clear that, but boy oh boy, when we do. Oh my gosh, twice in a row, Saint. There you go. That's the kind of movement we're looking for. At 1848, that's a pretty important level, to be honest with you. We're almost there, boys. We're almost there. Almost there, almost there. Come on, come on, come on, come on. I mean, getting to my region. That's really what I'm looking at. Just taking some profits on another position. Let's look at that 4 hour again, boy. Can I get into that or what? I just gotta be patient. Just gotta wait. Just gotta wait. Just gotta wait. Oof. So close. 1848. Well, 1850 was the high on that. 1852 was our level that we were looking at. Small little retracements. See if we get to flat levels and then get our push. There it is. There it is. Oh, 3's gonna keep going. All right, take us to the BSL right over here. Come on. This is exactly what I'm looking for. What are you doing over here? Yeah, you're not done yet. Come on. Right on the money, guys. Right on the freaking money. All right, come on. Give us a little bounce over here. Let's zone that out real quick. At 4 o'clock. Geez, that's another 3 hours from now. and that's probably going to be during this 4-hour session. Yeah, it's going to be during this 4-hour session. Okay, I'll take it. Really want to see these BSLs get tapped into. Our wave went a little bit higher, so typically I'll just kind of play around with it to find like what fib level I want to. That looks like a 6. Let's see if that was. Yep. All right, let's see if that's done. Like 1838 maybe? Yeah, because you got some imbalances down over here. Hold on, let's check. Let's just do it this way. Yeah, there's shave bottom right over here. Let's see if 4 comes down here and then moves up. If not, it's already currently holding this level. Good run. I think we had a good run. Decent run. We have the setups. We have what we're looking for going into the weekend. Short level didn't come, at least not during this stream for us, but the short levels will come. We know where they're at. You know, we have our 3-minute subwave count, which, you know, puts us in the 866, 874. We're anticipating some fast moves on that, right? Getting to this area, then breaking down, and then pushing right back up into those areas. So right now we want to see that we can, you know, tap into that buy side liquidity over there, clear that area, and then we can get our move back down. Our move back down is going to put us somewhere right around this level right over here. I think it's like 1760s. Yeah, 1760s. It's kind of the make sense zone for us. And then we'll get another push back up. We'll probably clear that wave B and get into this zone over here. So right now, just monitor the 3-minute for the subwave. Do have a bearish engulfing that just printed there. Yes, we do. So, and we're losing this 0.236 fib level anyways. It's a weaker fib level, but in comparison to a wave 4, I mean, it's a strong flat level, if that makes any sense, because we can see that we went to sharp levels. So essentially these become our flat levels for wave 4. That's really what we want to see maintain itself. Can it get down to this wave 1 area right over here? Yes, it could, and still be considered flat. I don't have an interest in longing the wave 4, to be honest with you. I'd rather just sit and wait for the fifth wave to appear and then short that level into our wave C that we have on the 4 hour. So it's just heavy doses of patience altogether, you know, when you're waiting for these setups. But yeah, that's going to be bringing it to a close for me as far as through this stream. I'm going to hop into the server, hang out with you guys for a little bit, get a little bit of bite to eat for myself. Solid 4 hours with you guys today, so I appreciate the time that you guys spent with me. I appreciate all the questions that you guys asked, and I'm hoping that I was able to answer them for you and even answer some questions that maybe you guys didn't even know that you had. That's ultimately the goal here for these streams, is to be heavy saturated with education on multiple different types of strategies and pairs that are out there. We'll be picking up again next week on Monday, relatively keeping the same times, right before New York Open appears. I've noticed that you guys get a little bit more feedback, or at least better output in the sense of what the market's going to look like for that day. So we're going to pick up again on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday off, Thursday, and then Friday we'll maintain. So relatively 3 to 4 streams a week for you guys with some live setups and analysis altogether. Outside of that, again, I thank you for the time that you spent with me. It means a lot to me personally. If you got some good information, please drop a like, leave a comment. Helps the algorithm altogether. Continue to be safe going into the weekend. Do anticipate some moves going into the weekend. That's something I would be preparing for. If you did take any of these longs or any of these short positions, don't forget, be profitable. The profit doesn't become real until you actually take it off of the table. So let's not be greedy going into it. Next week, we're going to have plenty of setups. Next 2 weeks are probably going to be some of the most important weeks going into the month of July. This is where I believe that we're going to be seeing the falling 3 pattern start to mature on itself. So we still have room to get into that 1893, maybe even 1920 levels going into the next week. So we have a little bit of time for that. So if you feel like you missed a short or you missed the opportunity, don't fret, it's going to come. Other than that, if no one's told you today, Jesus loves you. I love you. Thank you again. And I'll catch you guys next week.